Hey, you guys, and welcome back to my channel. I got a new microphone, so I hope my sound is better. I'm kind of excited about it. Um, I haven't made a video in a little while, and when I have made videos, it's kind of been here and there. I've just been in this very deep, inward, reflective state these past couple of months. I'm really feeling called inwards, and I'm feeling called to learn how to balance um, my new life, how to become this version of myself, how to live consistently in my passion and in my projects, but not to the point of burnout, learning the flow between work, consistency, rest, nourishment, and it's been quite the journey. And I've had a lot of inner critic, a lot of guilt and shame, and a lot of things coming up to be dealt with. And so I'd be curious how y'all are feeling this winter. And if y'all are feeling called into the same sort of reflective state, which I think is what winter is all about. And this winter specifically, I promised myself to surrender into this season, to not hold resistance against winter, because I always have a sort of resistance against specifically the winter time. And this year I just decided, you know what, this season has something to offer me. Murph wants to be the star of the show today, apparently. But I just decided that winter has something to offer. You know, every season has something, has a gift for you. And if you're choosing to be in resistance to whatever it is, because it may not always feel comfortable, um, you're not going to get as much out of it as you could. Because I understand that the energy of spring and the energy of summer feels so much more exciting and alive and rejuvenating. But if you're always thinking about wanting that specific energy and not taking the time to befriend the energy that is here now, the energy that comes with the winter time, you're missing out on half of your life. You know, the fall and the winter is half of our year every year. And if we're in resistance to half of our year, then we're in resistance to half of life. And we're not fully soaking in the juices of the present moment, the juices that the earth, the wisdom that comes with the earth in each season. Um, and I'm starting to really see that the winter is a very juicy season to surrender to. It is the season of deep discovery, deep inner nourishment, and just learning to access places within yourself that you haven't previously accessed. It's a time for rest and recovery. So, moving with your own flow, moving at your own pace, not forcing yourself into something because you've been programmed with this idea that your worth equals your productivity, but choosing to see that you're worthy always, and rest is as equally as important as being active. This is a time to integrate all that we've learned thus far and to choose to embody it rather than just to stay up in our minds. When wisdom and knowledge stays in our minds and never actually gets fully embodied into the being of who we are, it turns into poison, because then we know what we know and we understand what we're meant to be doing, but we're not acting in alignment with that. And so it sort of creates an inner battle between the version of ourselves that knows and the version of ourself that isn't ready or willing to embody the wisdom. And this is what causes dis-ease. You're in dis-ease within, which then physically manifests as disease. And so taking the time to allow the wisdom and knowledge you've gained thus far to fully integrate into your being, to fully integrate into who you are becoming, so that you can step up to the plate and choose to be who you came here to be. You know, it's up to you. And if you're constantly go, 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 you're never taking the time to pause, to surrender, to reflect, to nourish, to integrate, which is equally as important. And it will be shown to you with your rebirth just how deeply you are willing to surrender into this season, with how high up you rise when you're reborn as the phoenix. Yeah, so just choosing to surrender to this time. Recently, this past Sunday, I decided to go on a noise detox. I deleted all of my music apps. I deleted the YouTube app from my phone. I deleted Instagram, TikTok, Netflix. I just needed to get rid of it all. I needed to spend time in silence. This past weekend, I was just having this. I felt so weird. I felt anxious and I felt icky and overwhelmed, and like I was lost, and I just didn't know what was going on. And so first I cleaned my whole house from top to bottom. I just dusted, wiped everything down, mopped, swept, vacuumed. Like I just totally refreshed my house, and then deleted everything that has noise. And I will say I feel in a much more relaxed and peaceful, surrendered state. It's only Tuesday, so I deleted everything on Sunday. It's only been like 48 hours. And I did watch a movie last night because I just didn't know what to do with myself, which is kind of sad, but I didn't know what to do with myself without my phone. So I gave myself some grace and I started a movie, which, side note, we were just kind of watching anything back in the early 2010s, huh? Like, I went and I watched half of We're the Millers. And I just got to the middle of it and I was like, what the hell were we watching in the 2010s? Like, what is this? I remember that was a really big deal. That movie was a big deal. People were talking about it. Everyone was like, oh, ha ha ha, no regrets. Yeah, I literally shut it off in the middle of the movie. I was like, I remember that being better back in 2013. So how about we leave this one in the past? So if anyone was feeling called to watch We're the Millers, it's not worth it. Anyway, so yeah, just showing yourself. See, that's even another spot where I was able to show myself ease and grace. I told myself I was going to do all of these things, and then I ended up watching a movie anyways, which, whatever, I still haven't downloaded anything back on my phone. I still feel more peaceful and more relaxed. I feel way more in tune with myself and my own inner voice. Yeah, just learning how to flow with yourself in life. That is the key, is learning your own pace, learning your flow, learning the way that you do things, learning the way that you like to express yourself. It's all about what you like. And when we're constantly being told from online what to do, what to say, what to think, how to create, how to gain the most Instagram followers, this is the perfect way to gain YouTube subscribers and to get the most view on your channel. It's so easy. All you have to do is this. We're constantly being told what to do, how to do it, when to do it, what's the perfect morning routine, what's the perfect night routine. And I'm telling you, no one is going to do it and tell you how you need to do it the way that you can tell yourself. But the problem with that is that we are so inundated with this guilt and this shame for being who we are. We feel so much shame, and perhaps it's unconscious, but we feel so much shame around who we are that it's almost like we need other people to tell us how to do it, to tell us how to be successful, to tell us how to gain the most followers on Instagram. And if we follow this perfect plan, it's all going to be perfect and it's all going to work out for you, which perhaps I'm sure that a lot of these ways work. I'm not knocking them and saying that it doesn't work. I'm just saying, why do we feel the need to listen to what everybody else has to say? and how to do things? Why are we so resistant to turning all of that off and truly listening to our own intuition? Because your intuition is guiding you in how you specifically were designed to live and create and flourish in this lifetime. Your inner guidance knows the way. And when we can navigate through this by seeing when we feel shame and guilt for who we are, by noticing when we feel guilty for doing things the way that we want to do them, for the way that we like to operate, and just bring that silent awareness, that neutral awareness to that shame, it dissolves it, because it's an illusion. It's very limiting to believe that the way that you do things is wrong. It's very limiting to believe that the way you do things isn't going to work. How do you know? If you haven't fully tried it, gone all in and surrendered to your own internal guidance system yet, how do you know it's not going to work? Because your inner voice is telling you that you're wrong, that you're not good enough, that you're not smart like them, that you don't talk like them, you don't do it like them. So how are you going to be successful? That's the point, is that you don't do it like anyone else. You do it like you. And especially moving into this age of AI, which, by the way, I love AI. AI is a great resource and a great tool. But what AI doesn't have that we have is our humanity. What AI can't do that you can do is to be flawed, is to be imperfect, is to have this kind of hero's journey, this human journey that you walked. You are the only one in this entire planet that has walked through your life in your shoes, having your perspective, your challenges, your highs, your lows. You're the only one who has ever experienced life from your perception. And so, moving into this age with AI, it's going to be extraordinarily important to tune into what makes you unique, what makes you you, and to not be afraid to talk about your challenges, to not be afraid to talk about your highs and your lows, to not be afraid to talk about what you've been through in your past, because you never know how many other people need to hear what you have to say. Right? When you were at your lowest of lows and you were going through something and you couldn't find anyone else who had been experiencing this before, and you were in so much pain, wouldn't it have been such a relief to listen to somebody talk about how they went through the exact same thing and they made it through and they're okay and they helped guide you through it and leading you back into your own intuition, but having proof that they made it through and they did it and they're okay and they're safe now. I mean, hell, I know when I was at some of my darkest days, some of my darkest years, I couldn't find anyone talking about what I was going through. And it was because for so long, social media has been sort of this highlight reel. And yeah, there's people here and there that talk about their struggles and their challenges, but I'm talking about the people who are willing to dive deep, to the people who are willing to lay it all out and really get into the nitty gritty shit. Like, for example, Lori Ladd does a very amazing job at this, and she helped me through some really dark years. And we need more people like that who are willing to talk about their lows, not just their highs, because those are the topics that are going to help a lot of people through these next few years, because I just have this feeling the next few years are going to be really dark for a lot of people, and they're going to need you as a guiding light. They're going to need you to be brave enough to tell your story, to be brave enough to talk about what you've gone through, to be brave enough to vulnerably share. I mean, however much I'm not talking about all the nitty gritty details and like the personal things. I'm just talking about the experiences that were scary and perhaps how you were feeling in your body. And like, for example, for a whole year, for a year, I had this knot in my solar plexus, and it felt like a combination of anxiety and nausea, just living right here in my solar plexus. And I literally thought something was wrong with me. I thought that I was going to live with anxiety for the rest of my life, and it was scary. When you have that feeling and you're carrying that around with you for your entire life, for your entire life. That's how it felt for a whole year. Like, it truly feels like there's no getting out of this. This is just my life now. And I won't get into the details. Like I said, we don't need to get into the details of it, but it consumed me, along with like some really dark thoughts that was attached to this energy in my solar plexus. And for a whole year, I lived in this low. I lived in this pain, in this anxiousness, in these dark thoughts. And listening to Lori Ladd, I'm not saying she fixed me, but she helped guide me through one of the darkest years of my life. And I'm not saying that all we need to talk about is the darkness and the grief and the sadness, but there is a place and time for it. And I think these next coming years is going to be the place and time for it. I think a lot of people are going to need assistance. A lot of people are going to need a guiding light to move through what's going on the planet right now, because inevitably, essentially, the ending is good. It's love has already won the battle. Okay? Our higher selves are guiding us through the darkness to the light at the end of the tunnel, which there is, right? Our planet is just raising its consciousness. We're raising in frequency with Gaia. And while this is happening, all of the darkness, all of the gunk, everything that's not in resonance with the new earth is coming up to the surface. And if you don't know what's happening, it can feel really scary and heavy and dark and consuming. And so, yeah, ultimately it's coming up to come out. It's coming up to come out. Anything that is ever arising is only arising to be released. It's not arising because it's the truth. It's not arising because this is your new life. It's arising for you to bring your awareness to it so it can be released and move on. And so that more light can come in and fill the space that was once filled with darkness. Okay, and in this world of duality, darkness and light are equally as important. But where we're headed, going home to God, is all light. God does not exist in duality. God exists in oneness, where the light exists. And so within duality, it's very helpful to know that there's nothing wrong, there's nothing evil, there's nothing bad about the darkness. It's just the shadow aspects of us individually and collectively that were created when we separated from source, when we entered into duality. But it's not truth, right? Anything that is anything that is rooted in fear, anxiety, separation, and judgment is not truth. It's part of the false egoic matrix of creation. Anything rooted in love, abundance, joy, freedom, authenticity, these are things that are rooted in truth. And so this is a good rule of thumb for when you're observing your mind. Okay? If you have something arising that is rooted in the latter, in the fear, in the, what else did I say? Fear, anxiety, lack, judgment. This is all false egoic programming, essentially, and it's coming up to be released so that you can allow more space for the truth to enter your body, which is unconditional love, joy, abundance. Okay, so it's not coming up to torture you or to show you you're doing something wrong. It's coming up to be loved and released by you, to be alchemized into light. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with you if you're going through something like this. And I love you so much. And I'm so grateful to be on this planet at this time. I am currently working on a course that I'm hoping to release in the springtime. That's going to be about awakening the observer. It's going to have, right now, I'm working on the first lesson plan. And so I may release each lesson with different modules as like their own package. And then if you want to buy the full package, you can. So right now I'm working on lesson plan 1, which is all about meditation. And right now I have 3 modules for it. And each module is going to come with a written lesson plan, a question, open-ended questions at the end, a guided meditation, and then a video of me speaking about the module. Yeah, just putting that out there because why not? It just flowed naturally, so I'm assuming that it's time to start talking about it. Yeah, I'm hoping to release that in the spring. And I'm kind of excited about it. That's what I've been working on a lot. So I've been feeling more called to work on that rather than make videos, but I think I should do both. I really love showing up in this space and talking to y'all and reading y'all's comments, seeing how y'all are doing. So if you've made it this far, please leave a comment. I'd love to hear how you're doing. If any of this resonated with you or aligned with what you're going through. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. That would really help me a lot. Reach my messages out further to more people who may be going through this that need not necessarily guidance, but I suppose guidance of some sort, or just like a comfortable video to help them feel like they're not alone, to help y'all feel like we're not doing this alone and we're not doing it for no reason. We're doing this for a purpose that is so much greater than our human can possibly comprehend. This is not happening for no reason. This is happening for the highest of reasons that you could ever think of. Yeah. So I'll talk to y'all later.